My mother's deathbed confession revealed a crime that changed our entire family history. I never thought I'd be standing in a sterile hospital room, staring at the woman who gave me life, knowing that in a matter of hours, she might be gone. And with her, an entire chapter of my childhood that I had taken for granted. My mother, Linda Parker, was always this larger-than-life figure in my mind, warm but distant in ways I never questioned. The kind of woman whose smile could make any room feel like home, but whose silence often carried unspoken judgments. And now, at 28, I found myself replaying decades of memories. The way she braided my hair in the mornings before school, the smell of cinnamon rolls baking on Saturday nights, the quiet evenings we spent reading together while my father drank in the garage, pretending not to notice us, because suddenly all those moments felt fragile, like glass in my hands, and I couldn't help but wonder what truth she had carried alone all these years. The doctors had been blunt when they called me, saying it was serious, that her body was shutting down faster than anyone expected, but they hadn't told me the storm of secrets she was keeping for me until the very last minute. And I arrived at the hospital expecting to offer comfort, maybe get a few final words in before saying goodbye, and instead, I was met with the frail, trembling figure of my mother lying in a bed that seemed far too big for someone so tiny. Her eyes bright but clouded, scanning the room as if she were looking for someone or something that had been missing for decades. I remember holding her hand, feeling the sudden weight of mortality pressing down on me like a vice, the rhythmic beeping of the monitors around us syncing with my own racing heartbeat. And then, she whispered, her voice barely audible, "Ethan, you have to know, there's a secret, a crime, something you'll never forgive. Promise me you'll find the truth." And before I could respond, before I could ask her what she meant or why she was saying this now, she pressed something into my hand, small, folded, worn at the edges, like it had been waiting for me all these years. And the moment I unfolded the letter, I could feel my chest tighten as the words jumped off the page, phrases I couldn't immediately reconcile with the woman I thought I knew, mentions of names I recognized only in passing, dates that predated my existence, hints at a disappearance, something hidden, something illegal, a shadow over the family's past that I had never imagined. I sat there, in that stark room with fluorescent lights buzzing overhead, reading and rereading the letter, the words blurring as my mind spun, shock twisting into disbelief, disbelief curdling into anger, anger into a suffocating confusion that made it hard to breathe. And I realized in that moment that everything I had believed about my family, about my childhood, about the people I trusted most might have been a lie, that the woman I had loved and depended on had carried a burden so heavy that it had defined our lives without me even knowing it. And yet buried within the fear and the betrayal, there was this undeniable pull, this desperate need to uncover the truth, to understand the full scope of what my mother had been protecting, and I couldn't ignore it. Not if I wanted to respect her memory. Not if I wanted to make sense of the hollow feeling growing in my chest, the questions multiplying like shadows across the walls of that hospital room. Because every instinct in me was telling me that whatever she had done, whoever had been involved, it was bigger than I could imagine, bigger than our quiet town of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, bigger than the comfortable life we had all pretended to live. And even though tears blurred my vision and my hands shook as I folded the letter back up and tucked it into my jacket, I felt this unshakable certainty forming in the pit of my stomach that I couldn't let this go, that I had to.
Full story link below.